What if I told you abs are not just made in the kitchen or in the gym? Abs are actually made in the small habits and choices that you make every single day. I have managed to keep my waist lean, my core nice and defined and strong for years. Even when I was 10 pounds heavier, I was always able to still maintain a really strong core. This was without crash diets, restricting, skipping meals, or living on the treadmill. So today I am going to share with you 10 of my top tips for keeping a defined core and a flat tummy. These are the simple shifts that I have made over the past few years that have completely transformed my overall body composition, but also my digestion. So let's think less bloat, more tone, and actual core strength. And we're not just focusing on aesthetics here. We want to keep things moving and we want to feel good from the inside out. And that really all does start with your gut. So a lot of these tips are going to be surrounded on the best practices for that. So if you are working on that snatched waist and you want to maintain it and you want it all year long, this video is for you. Let's get into it. I start almost every single morning with my magic morning drink before food or coffee. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you need to check out my magic morning video on YouTube dedicated to the recipe. I shared that a few months ago and it has become a phenomenon with my followers on YouTube, but also just my Shape members. So many of you have started incorporating it into your routine and have seen such a change in digestion almost immediately. So we want to wake up the body in the morning with something warm and cozy. This helps activate digestion in the body right away and just lets your body know that it is safe and protected and getting you ready for the day ahead. I'm not going to give it fully away, but it's a combination of chia seeds with some apple cider vinegar, lemon, warm water, of course. You can add in turmeric or ginger. There's a couple other spices added in there as well. And there are so many nutritional benefits, properties, minerals, a little bit of salt as well for extra minerals, giving you hydration, giving you some fiber, and again, just activating the body and getting it ready for whatever is coming next in your day, on your plate. It helps with it all. Especially if you are waking up with bloat, this can literally instantly help with that and hopefully get things moving and grooving. Digestive enzymes are such a game changer, especially if you feel like you're doing everything right, but still feel about 3 months pregnant after a meal. I actually started incorporating digestive enzymes when I had SIBO, small intestinal bacteria overgrowth. Also have a full video on YouTube about that as well. And part of my protocol with clearing out the bad bacteria and helping with bloat and digestion from my naturopath was starting to incorporate digestive enzymes. And again, I saw the results immediately. Digestive enzymes help break down the protein, the fats, and the carbs after consuming them, and it prevents that food from fermenting in the gut and causing digestive issues. Now that I am in a good place with my bloating, with my gut health, I don't take it every single day, but I take it after larger meals or when I know I'm going to have something a little bit heavier just to help my body process it a little bit better. I will share some of my favorite digestive enzymes below. I have some promo codes too, so we can all save some money. But it's one of the easiest hacks for a flatter tummy without needing to subtract or restrict anything. I do not do endless crunches, and very rarely do I even do like dedicated core work on top of my workouts. But when we are doing strength training and when we are doing Pilates, especially in my shape workouts, we are using our core without even really knowing it. So for example, when we're doing a squat, do we think core when we're doing a squat? No, we're thinking we're working our legs. But when you're doing these movements properly and also using weights, we are automatically engaging the core. That goes to say with majority of Pilates moves, Pilates is so amazing for core strength and defining your abs. And I am intentionally incorporating deep core exercises within all of my shape workouts because I know that that's what everyone wants. I am also going to let you in on a little secret when it comes to keeping that strong core. We should be focusing on posture every single day. If you're sitting, bad posture, shoulders are hunched over, back is rounded, core is not engaged. But when you pull yourself up, you can see the difference. Here, look at the flab. And then as I pull up, I'm lengthening and I'm actively engaging the core, keeping it nice and strong. So this is something we want to think about when we're sitting every single day. When we're standing especially, are we coming into an anterior tilt, meaning we're pushing our hips out. We're probably getting lower back pain. When you pull the belly button to the spine, find that neutral spine, and take away that anterior tilt, you are engaging your core when you're walking, standing, sitting 24/7, and that is how we strengthen the transverse abdominis, which is like that muscle wrapping around the waist similar to a corset, and we keep that big muscle group nice and strong, which is like, that's the goal, that's the real goal. So posture, 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 that will help tighten, tone, and strengthen. I know I probably sound like a broken record at this point, but walking is not just for your daily steps. Yes, we want our daily steps, but it is my number one hack for reducing inflammation, regulating cortisol, and big one, no surprise, supporting digestion. You all know that I aim for 10,000 steps every single day, but get close to that marker. If it's 7K, if it's 8K, start small and begin to work your way up to getting there, but just being outside, getting that fresh air, that sunlight, that is what helps with all of the regulation, with the inflammation, and getting your body into a really good rhythm. It's low impact, it does not spike stress, and it helps move excess lymph and water retention out of the body. I promise if you start incorporating steps, you will feel leaner and lighter, and your body will thank you for it. Snacking all day keeps your body in a state of digestion, which is one of the biggest drivers of bloat. Think about it. If you're eating all day, all throughout the day, your body is constantly just focused on breaking down the food, which is why I promote and share with my community all the time. Let's instead focus on 3 balanced meals throughout the day that are high in protein. And if you feel hungry in between that 4 or 5 hour window until your next meal, yes, at that point, have a gut-friendly, high-protein snack to help support you and get you through to the next meal. But if you're having, your breakfast and then an hour later having a banana, and then an hour after that having, some tuna, and then you're having your lunch, and then 1 or 2 hours you're having some chia seed pudding. Like, even though all of those things are really healthy and amazing for you, that doesn't necessarily mean that it is good for your digestion. So the next time you go and grab an apple right after you ate breakfast, again, I know I'm gonna get hate. People being like, why are you hating on apples? I'm not hating on apples. Whatever the food is, if you're not hungry, that's the message. Do not keep snacking because it is not good for your digestion. Forget about the calories. I'm just talking about the gut. Doing this will help give your digestive system a break and will also really help with blood sugar regulation, which, as we know, affects energy, cravings, all of the things. And even making this small change, you'll notice how much flatter your tummy feels throughout the day. I did not realize how much stress was sabotaging my waistline until I started to manage it. So I never used to do any type of mindfulness. My cortisol was high. I was really stressed out. I think that was a big contributor to my SIBO, just being inflamed in general and not being able to lose weight for a long time. And then once I started to make changes in my life and lowered my stress, focused on more peace, started meditating and breath work on my Shape app when I created that in 2020, things started to fall into alignment, and I felt like I was finally able to reduce the bloating, reduce the inflammation, and also get more consistent with bowel movements. Think about it. When you're stressed, you're tightening in your body and you're holding on. So a lot of the times we just can't poop when we are high stress. I will give you a personal example. Last week, I just had a lingering anxiety. I actually don't really know what it was from, but I think it was like 3 or 4 days that I didn't really have a proper bowel movement. And then you start stressing about not having a good bowel movement, and you're bloated and you're cranky and you're tired. It all builds up, but it's all based around stress. You know what I did? I took a self-care weekend. I didn't go out at night. I made sure that I was getting my proper hours of sleep, because I also noticed that when I'm sleeping like in 2 or 3 hours of REM sleep a night and getting, those 7 to 9 hours of really good quality sleep, it regulates everything. Let me tell you, by Sunday, I was back on track. But again, you need to be aware enough and in tune enough with your body to be able to actively make these choices and really dial in on stress management. It's truly about calming your nervous system so that your body can let go of that stress weight and we can get that flat tummy. Next, I avoid these 3 bloat bombs. I love that definition, but these are the things that make me feel instantly puffy. Carbonated drinks, artificial sweeteners, and cruciferous veggies like cauliflower and broccoli, but eating them raw. Even kale, it needs to be very massaged. There are some things that our bodies just have a harder time breaking down. So making sure that we are avoiding them or keeping them out of our diet, especially when we're working on healing our digestive system. Of course, all of our bodies work differently and we're able to break down different things. But when I was vegan, I'll say that lightly, I tried going vegan years ago for 2 weeks and I was so freaking bloated. I was having tofu, beans, I was still trying to get in my protein, but my body was just not breaking it down. What my body really loves is animal protein. It loves red meat, it loves chicken, it loves seafood, and when I focus on those whole foods with fiber through vegetables, maybe a little bit of carbs here and there throughout my meals, breakfast and dinner normally. Again, as long as my stress is managed, things are feeling good and I'm not getting that crazy bloat after meals. I used to eat until I was very, very, very full. I would eat everything on my plate no matter what. And then I would wonder why I was so bloated after and why I felt like my body couldn't break down the food. And instead it was just sitting there. Now, what I do and what I suggest for you to try as well is eat until you are 80% full. You want to be satisfied, but you do not want to be stuffed to the brim, feeling like if you have one more bite, you will explode. Doing this will give your body time to register fullness. You probably also won't overeat, and you will take some of that stress off of your digestive system and won't have to have it working overtime every single day. For me personally, it helps me feel lighter after meals. It helps me feel more energized. I'm not crashing. And naturally, it helps with portion control without counting or restricting or monitoring what you're eating, weighing it. No, we don't do that here. I don't got time to calorie count. And instead, I love to just listen to my body. Did you know that the order in which you eat your food on your plate matters? This is something that I actually taught more recently to my boyfriend, and it completely changed his digestion. He did not know what the hell. I don't know how this man lived before I came into his life, okay? I have completely transformed like so many amazing habits. He's like my protege. I share with him all of my healthy hacks and tricks and tips, and then I watch him blossom and grow. So when you are eating your plate of food, you want to think about having your vegetables first. Having that fiber almost acts like a coat in your intestines, helping number 1 with your blood sugar, but number 2, breaking down the rest of the food that is coming down the pipeline. Then we want to eat our protein, then our healthy fats, and finish off with our carbs. If we are starting a meal with carbs, you are going to spike your blood sugar, which is going to increase your cravings throughout the day, and you're also going to get a major drop in energy. I've had this question before when I've talked about this in my comments. Well, what if I'm eating a salad that has all of these things mixed in together? Yeah, of course, like you can't really control that. You just eat the salad and you're not stressing out or thinking about it, and I'm sure everything will be fine. But when you do have a plate of food and everything is kind of sectioned off, try eating in that order and see the difference in how you feel after. Here's the truth. A flat tummy and a strong defined core is not made from one perfect workout or a detox tea. It is the results of consistent, low stress, sustainable habits that you do over a period of time. I'm sorry, but it's not going to happen in 1 or 2 weeks. I mean, you're going to actually see instant change if you're incorporating even just a handful of these, probably within the first 2 to 4 weeks. But it's about the long term, because we're not about quick fixes here. We are about choosing the proper actions day after day after day that feel good for us, and that is what gives us those long-term results. I do not train for aesthetics anymore. I train for energy, digestion, strength, and balance. And my flat tummy, where is it coming from? Again, it is just the byproduct of these consistent habits. So if your goal is to tighten up and to strengthen your midsection, or if you just want to feel better in your body again, choose 2 to 3 things this week that we talked about. It does not need to be all or nothing. So don't take this entire list and start implementing it as of right now. That won't be sustainable. Choose the things that were called to you that you feel will change the direction of your digestion and of the strength of your core, and start there. Also, if you want support with mindfulness, lowering stress, your workouts, following an actual plan that will give you results, and finding recipes that are whole food focused, easy, and realistic for you to make right from home, make sure to check out my app, Shape. I will link it below. Start your free trial, see if it's good for you, and we can be on this journey together. Thank you, as always, for watching. Let me know what habit you are going to start incorporating below. And make sure to check out my latest video, which will also be super helpful, how to get all your protein in as a woman. See you next time.